Alright, legends, welcome along to a swift little upload today. Let's talk about streaming and the future of it. Where is it going to be in a couple of years' time? It is, in a way, tough to tell at the moment, but at the same time, it's starting to get fairly obvious if you look in the right places what's happening right now. There is, and for a multitude of different reasons, I'm not even going to get into the whole politics of anything like that. I'm just going to go by the actual hard figures of what you're seeing online at the moment. The streaming platforms are incredibly handy. I love them. There's nothing better than just sitting down, throwing your feet up, tuning into Netflix or whatever your preferred platform is, just searching something to watch, enjoying it. But literally, right now, what we're seeing is the onset of what was the worry at the very beginning whenever we started going down this path, is how is the companies going to monetize it properly. They, for the most part, for most platforms, the system seems to be working very well. Netflix is the giant there right now. Doesn't seem to be having many problems. Amazon, not too bad. Some of the other platforms, however, are starting to waver in what they've been trying to do and where they're trying to go and what their hope is moving forward. So for me, right now, I'm not even going to get into the politics or anything out there. Like, I'm not a professional by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not stupid. I'm seeing what's happening. I've been reading some articles. I've been just listening to different places online, and just, I'm not stupid enough to tune on the one channel somewhere along the line and just yes, whatever they're saying is the 100% truth. Not that stupid. You sit down, if you're going to start to try and work out what's happening, listen to everybody and get as many different sources as you can in there, and then you find the truth within that. A person told me one time that whenever something happens, there's always three sides to a story. You've got one side, the other side, and then in the middle is the truth somewhere. So what is genuinely coming out right now is the fact that a lot of these streaming services are having a hard time making ends meet as far as monetizing the stuff that they're creating goes. Now, one in particular for me is Disney Plus at the moment. I think they're in major trouble. The title of this video was "Watch the Old Stuff While You Can," because it has been said, and I've heard it in a few different places, which is making me thinking that, this is where the truth is starting to lie with them, is that as we're moving forward, and they've already said they're putting into place some cost-cutting measures to keep Star Wars on the road, as well as Marvel and whatnot. Like, they're breaking, to the best of my knowledge, the last I heard was cutting budgets right in half, down the middle, letting people go, all that sort of stuff. But the one thing that I haven't heard a lot of people saying right now is that with all these cost-cutting measures, they're going to have to, at some point, and Willow is a perfect example of this. If you want to go and watch the series based on that film, you can't. That is, I'm not even going to point towards Disney for that. I can't recall which of the services actually had that in the first place, but it might have been Disney, it might not have been Disney. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot go watch that little series based on the movie. It was deleted because the higher-ups decided, we're not happy with the numbers here, so we're just going to get rid of it. So long gone are the days where people had their DVD collections. Now, thankfully, like a lot of the stuff I've loved over the years, I've collected physical copies of it. I've got a shelf of DVDs sitting over there that I can delve into at any stage that I want to watch something. But if we're going down the road where streaming services are now going to start to delete older content in favour of having somewhere to house the new content, because, if they're running a service like that, they're going to have to be paying major money just to house movies and TV shows on the streaming service. So, you can see from somebody's perspective higher up that, oh, here's a series that's not doing that well. We're not happy with the revenue we're getting back from it. Delete it. Get rid of it. Doesn't matter about the fan base that maybe would have loved that series. It just never comes to the bottom line that the money's not there. They're going to look after themselves. And I can see that, the sense in that. But at the same time, there's a lot of people loving a lot of classic stuff that isn't necessarily the most, go-to thing for a lot of people whenever they sit down. Like, there's movies that I've loved from the past that are just, even getting a physical copy of them these days is incredibly difficult, because they're just now getting to the point of obscurity. But, once you get that physical copy, it's always going to be there for you. You can go and check it out. So I can see somewhere down the line, physical media making a major comeback. Might happen, might not happen, but if it's going to get to the stage where companies are going to start deleting older content in favour of freeing up space, let's just say, for the newer stuff coming in, and arguably the vast majority of the newer stuff isn't as good as the older stuff, what are you going to do whenever you sit down someday and like, I want to watch that classic show that I loved so much, and you're paying your membership to a streaming service? Doesn't even matter if it's, like I was using Disney Plus as an example there. It could be them, it could be Amazon Prime, it could be Netflix, it could be Paramount Plus, you name it. You think to yourself, I haven't seen this movie or TV show in a long time. I think I'll sit down, chill out tonight, and watch this old movie, this old TV show, and just have a great time remembering back in the day whenever I was a kid and used to watch this with my parents. Now my parents are gone, and this is, I have that with an old movie called The Quiet Man, that I remember sitting down on a weekend with my father watching. Great. Every time I watch that movie, it takes me right back to being like 5 or 6 years old, sitting on his knee watching the movie. Nice memory. But, if the streaming services are just going to, like, flick a switch somewhere on the upper levels and all that stuff sort of goes, why are we going to keep paying our membership fees for stuff that can disappear at a moment's notice? So just a random thought that I had there. So if you are paying your membership to a lot of these services right now, what I would tell you is, if there's old shows and old movies that you haven't watched for a long time and have a lot of love for, now's the time to get back there, start watching them again before the purge starts to happen, because it's getting more obvious by the week right now that a lot of these services, it's actually getting to be a mind boggler how most of these companies are still surviving. I can see an implosion coming soon for a lot of them. So go watch the old stuff while you still have time.